from Cincinnati Weather Online.
Okay, we have a tornado warning now in effect for portions of Clinton County and northern sections of Highland County. This tornado warning will go on here until 10:15. This is a radar-indicated tornado moving off towards the east at about 22 miles per hour. So, pretty nasty storm out here in the parts of Clinton County. Moved through the Wilmington Weather Service office, and it produced 72 mile an hour wind gusts. When we zoom into the storm, here's New Vienna right here. Let me take off the warning information. Right in here would be your area of spin that I would be watching carefully. And if you watch my hand, that's going to move towards Leesburg, right along US 62 here. So seek shelter, lowest level of your home until this storm is passed. Let me go over to our analyzer product so we can look at that a little bit better. You can see right here these darker reds, that purple color. You're seeing some potential for hail with this storm as well. Let's go ahead and switch over to the velocity view, and you can see the area, the whole storm spinning itself, but there's a little area of rotation right in here, just north of New Vienna. Okay, and this is, like I said, moving towards the Leesburg area. Let's put on normalized rotation so we can look at it a little better. And you can see this little green area right here, and I'll zoom in a little tighter. And this is right along Bernard Road and County Road 64 right here. This is where your area of rotation is occurring. This is where I would be seeking shelter, lowest level of your home. If you're in Highland, Leesburg, seek shelter right now. That's northern Highland County. Now, as I've been talking here, that area of rotation has come down a little bit, but as I put the radar on a loop here, you'll notice still seeing some broad rotation with this storm here now in eastern sections and southeastern sections of Clinton County, and still making that beeline towards the Leesburg area. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go ahead and put a track on this storm moving off to the east at about 20 miles per hour. And I'll give you some times here on this storm area that I'm concerned for, the area of where the rotation would be occurring. We'll switch over to the other computer model here. And you'll see 957 for Highland, 1004 for Leesburg. So if you're in the path of this storm, pretty much right along, I would say, Highway 28, this is the area you need to be seeking shelter right now. You can see that comma-shaped hook there with this storm as it's moving off towards the east here. In my opinion right now, I feel like this is more of a concern for damaging straight-line winds and hail. This is not ready to produce a tornado at the moment. It is rotating, and it is something to be noted on here. But at the moment, I don't see anything, a tight couplet or anything that would be indicating a tornado that would be potentially on the ground. I will say there's some spotty areas here on the radar that were briefly showing that there could be a potential tornado. And it was right here, just north of New Vienna, near Bernard Road. That was where that area of spin was occurring. So here's Wilmington up here. Here's New Vienna, Leesburg. This zone here is where, very rural area. That's basically where we're watching for that potential for a spin-up tornado. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking about the threat for severe weather as we go through the evening hours. You see these storms here in the Dayton area at this time. I'll put a loop here for you, and you'll see this activity here is diving off to the southeast, but you do see an outflow boundary, and you see back building of thunderstorms towards Richmond, Indiana. So we have to watch these through about 11, 12 o'clock to see if anything will fire up and become severe off of that particular part of the line. So back to the other radar program. I'm going to show you here quickly the current alerts that are in effect for the area. it looks like okay, so there's a severe thunderstorm watch that continues for parts of the area here. Union, Fayette, and Franklin counties, that watch goes till 11 o'clock. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect, and this is labeled for up to 60-mile-an-hour winds now. This includes eastern Highland County and also the northern Highland County, eastern Clinton County, and the tornado warning that's now in effect for the same areas, and this goes until 10:15. Includes Greenfield, Leesburg, New Vienna, Good Hope, Highland, Lees Creek, East Monroe, Rock Mill, Samantha, and New Martinsburg. Seek shelter, lowest level of your home, okay? If you're in this red polygon, this is the zone where you need to be seeking shelter right now. Let's go back to the velocity view. Look at this here. I'm still not seeing anything that would say, hey, Chris, 911, tornado. I see a broad area of rotation right now when we look at our shear product. And you can see on here, let me take off, sometimes it's hard to see, but you can see there are areas that I'm watching for some rotation, but it's nothing that's, like I said, a 911, there's a tornado. Normally, I will say the storm does look like, let's go to Analyzer. I'm going to throw this back on here. You can see that comma shape. It does look like it's getting a little more organized within the past few frames. Let me pull up on Storm Tops. I just want to check that. Okay, so it looks still looking strong. Let me look at Storm Strength real quick. Throw that on there. Yeah, so still looks like this storm is trying to intensify a little bit. There we go. You can see the loop of that. Let me put on the lightning strikes. Just want to zoom into that one real quick. So you can see up here we saw an uptick in lightning for a few frames there, and then now we've seen that that area kind of drop within the past few on the lightning count. So this storm may be pulsing. So that could mean that this thing could ramp up again here shortly. So we got to keep an eye on it. This is our storm strength tracker, and you can see it is starting to gain a little more strength now as it's moving towards the Leesburg area. So back to the regular radar view that you're normally used to seeing, and you can see this thing here is got that spin to it. You can see it very clearly here on reflectivity. We'll have to watch the hail in here. Let's check that out. That could be a good bet too with this storm. And you can see definitely here towards Leesburg, 62, 28 right here. This could be some very small hail with this particular storm, okay? So, and the hail has come up a bit. So it does look like we are starting to see this storm strengthen. And I'll switch back over to Analyzer. You can definitely tell there's two little areas that pop out at you. One near the Leesburg area. That's where that first initial area of spin was. And then we've got another area that's producing some strong winds near New Vienna. And when we look at the regular radar view, that area of stronger wind is actually inflow into the storm. So it's all this juicy warm air right here south of this storm is being sucked into this storm right now. So we're seeing a intensifying thunderstorm, and you see that hook right there just east of New Vienna. This is going to be your area where you're going to want to watch for the potential of a tornado. This is a nasty looking storm. I'm not going to lie here. This is got the comma shape there, and continues to strengthen as it's pushing off towards the east into the Chillicothe area. You've got up to the north, you've got more storms near Dayton. These storms are probably 50 to 55 mile an hour winds at this time. But you've got this storm, and anytime we get these storms that ride out in front of the main line, they can become tornadic. They got a lot of energy to work with. We've had a cap on the atmosphere. I posted about it earlier today, and that cap, what that does is that limits vertical development of clouds, and then we end up seeing less in the way of thunderstorms. Thankfully, that's been in place today. if that wouldn't have been in place, we would be seeing widespread severe weather. So what happens over the next couple of hours is, one, what happens with this outflow boundary, and two, we got to watch and see if these storms like this one here near the east now of Wilmington, will that be a potential? Could we get some storms that fire out aside of the main line? Well, right now, when you look at the area as a whole, it's looking basically on radar that we still have a cap in place, and that cap is allowing that cold front to come through here without producing any thunderstorms. So what we have to watch over the next little bit is, as this line, or this cold front, which is right here, will it tap into that energy? Can we get storms to break that cap and move through? That's happened towards Wilmington. You can see it right here as we have that tornado warned storm. Let's go back into that storm. Let's see what that's doing now. And we're still looking at normalized rotation here. Still areas of spin from Leesburg east of New Vienna right now. Those areas are really, in my opinion, looking at that, these are weak areas of rotation at this point, but you're still seeing a strong inflow here right over Leesburg. If you're outside right now, you probably see some pretty gnarly looking clouds. And that is basically, you have a supercell storm that is currently over top of your area. And that storm is going to continue to move off to the east. And I do want to give you an updated track on where this is headed. Let's see, give me just a minute here, because of course, hang on. Let me get you an updated track as I'm running into some issues with the computer program. Give me just a minute. It's going to take just a second to get that to load back up. So you're still looking, though, at analyzer. Here's Leesburg. Here's that area of spin right now on the radar view. Let me go ahead and take you full. Give it just a second to load up. All right. So there we go. You'll see this is the tornado warned storm out here in Highland County. That tornado warning goes until 10:15. Seek shelter, lowest level of your home. Okay. There's the regular radar view. And let me get you a track on this. Moving off to the east at about 20 mile per hour. So I got to zoom in pretty tight here because this is a rural area. Okay, let me zoom in off towards the northeast off to the east at about 20. And this is moving in pretty rural, right? So don't have any towns on here. Let me see if I can see anything on Analyzer. This will impact close to just north of the New Petersburg area. But you can see here, that's a very rural area in the northeastern sections of Highland County that will be impacted by this storm, okay? And I have not went dark. It's just, there we go. The radar's they're updating them right now. So you can see the areas of spin still. It's broad. It's not concerning to me at this point. When we look at normalized rotation, not seeing anything that says green. Green means go with that. There may be an area. Let me check. Nope. Just seeing a very strong storm potentially producing some maybe up to quarter-size tail potentially. So we'll watch that. Okay. Right now, this is the storm. There's the track. It's going to go just south of Greenfield, and then just north of areas like Sinking Springs. It's not going to impact you. But we'll move north of, let's say, the New Petersburg Marshall area. That it's going to may impact the New Petersburg area here in just a little bit. So let me zoom this out on a wider view quickly here. I'm probably going to hop off because this storm is in my opinion, at the moment, not producing anything that would be of a concern, and we don't have a lot. I don't know if we may have one or two people out this way that follow, but I just wanted to hop on and give you an update on that particular storm because it is in our area and it is tornado warned. I will say I'm watching this area of storms here. This will all merge together shortly, But what I'm concerned, you can see right there on the last frame, that's your cold front, that little green dot. You can see that cold front going through Columbus, Indiana, all the way up through the Dayton area. And what you want to notice is what's happening right here on this Indiana, Ohio line, and we're going to continue to see if this thing back builds as it moves off to the southeast. Anything that is on the Indiana-Ohio line will continue to move towards Cincinnati. Anything that is out here that would develop would move down towards northern Kentucky and skim parts of southeastern Indiana. I will say that it looks like right now areas that are, let's say, eastern Jefferson County, eastern Jennings, probably most of Ripley, most of Decatur, most of Switzerland, it looks like you might stay dry through this entire event, but it'll depend on if we see storms that try to fire or not. So, all right, that's it for now. I'll keep you updated. If we have any more tornado warnings, I'll pop on here. If there's any more storms that produce winds up to 70, I'll be on here too. Just for the looks of it here, just want to look at Analyzer one more time to see if the storm is rotating at all, and it is broad rotation. You can see the tops on this now near 40,000 feet. So storm continues to strengthen. I don't have a storm at this time that would be producing a tornado in northern sections of Highland County. And this storm will continue to scoot through Highland County here, let's say over the next 15 to maybe 30 minutes or so. So, all right, that's it for now. I'll continue to keep you updated.